r/ask Reddit. What adult thing seemed super scary as a kid that you found out wasn't bad when you grew up? Make my own food. When I was little, I thought I was too stupid to make food or remember to eat, so I would just die. But there is this thing called hunger that reminds me to eat, so I'm still alive. Drug dealers. They're usually just normal people with a little extra to go around. Not the back alley hooded mugger that TV portrays. They exist, but you shouldn't be buying drugs from them, LMAO. Watching the president get impeached. The basement. I was always afraid of getting alcohol poisoning. Never pieced it together that I actually needed to drink. Sleeping alone, lol. There was a point where I was really afraid of the dark. I just wanted night to be over as fast as possible. Now it's the other way around. Paying bills and taxes. I mean, I don't love doing it. It's all a real pain and you have to set up and stay within a budget. But it seemed adults were always telling me I should love being a kid because at least I don't need to pay bill and taxes. The refrain seemed to be, sure. As a kid you have almost no power over your own life as it's run by adults constantly and willfully misleading you to manipulate you for their own ends. You have to go through the social gladiator sports of school. All while school alone is so exhausting and onerous you would do anything to get away from it. Sure. All that. But at least you don't need to worry about bills and taxes. It really seemed like it must be so awful. Talking to other grown-ups. You kind of just get good at it. Sex never sounded like fun as a kid. I mean, the biology of it sounds kind of horrifying. One person sticks a part of them into a part of you and moves it around. I remember as a child wondering who thought that up and how can that be enjoyable? Though my parents did discuss sex with me. As far as informing me of the basics, it was always considered a serious topic. It was something married people did, like taxes and going to work. I spent a long time being very afraid of it and actually kinda hoped I died before I had to face doing it. Yeah. It wasn't so bad and got way better with age and maturity. None of it. Adulthood is terrifying. I thought the Bermuda Triangle would have a much bigger impact on my life. Dentist. I like going to dentists now. Not living at home with my family. Sex. Having kids. I got pregnant at 21. Not a child, but you know. Way too young, destroy your life, no future. It's too difficult, blah blah blah. Taking care of my babies is easy. It's everything else that's difficult. The dentist. I'm 25 and just started going again after like 10 years. Still haven't gone to the doctor though. If I die, I die, but I want to have a great smile. My school sent out a letter saying a similar message. Let your kids be themselves. Don't crucify them if they get bad grades once or twice. If your kid cared about school, then they'll learn themselves and adjust for the better. Being drunk seemed a little scary. I thought you needed a license to cook. Driving. Traveling. For me it was having responsibilities. But it's getting scary again. Going up the stairs late at night. Drinking. Apparently you can do it in moderation. Orgies. Then I turned 10 and was like, meh. I used to vehemently hate naps as a kid because I didn't like the darkness of when you shut your eyes. Nyctophobia is a hell of a thing. But now as an adult it's pretty much all I want to do now, mayo. Cooking. My parents aren't good cooks, so I was terrified of giving myself food poisoning or burning the house down. Turns out, if you follow a recipe, it's easy enough. Parents. But for some reason, still super scary. Drug dealers. Mirrors. I was scared of mirrors. Now, not much. Eating my vegetables. Quicksand. I seem to think it would be something to watch out for. But I have never encountered it and most likely never will, lol. Balancing a checkbook. It's not scary because I don't have to do it. Kissing. Easiest thing ever. I thought fires were way more common. I was scared that every day an electrical outlet might spark. Gas might ignite. or anything else that was going to make me stop, drop and roll. The inevitability of death. Quite looking forward to the break tbh. Good nutrition. My dad dying. Sleeping with the lights off. Turns out monsters can't see in the dark very well and leave you alone. Root canal. Kissing. Applying to colleges wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. Common App makes it a whole lot easier. Relationships. Wait. No. I'm still terrified. Getting socks for Christmas. I thought quicksand was gonna be a way bigger issue. It's all still just as terrifying in my opinion. Spankings. Driving. Needles. Not as bad as young me once thought. Quicksand. Every TV show in the late 70s/80s had a quicksand scene. Kipes. TJ Hooker. Dukes of Hazzard. Etc. Never in my life have I seen quicksand. Paying taxes. Essentially once a year you bring a bunch of papers from your job and a few other things to an accountant and they tell you how much you owe or owed. The logic behind it all is another thing entirely. But paying them filing annually is not really a huge scary thing. Doctors. Kids. Driving a manual transmission. I was very freaked out by mascara wands and spiral staircases when I was little. Not necessarily an adult thing. But drugs. In school they made it sound like everywhere you went there would be someone pressuring you to do drugs. Thanks. DARE. I have long since learned that is not the case. Literally everything. Because I am a child of helicopter parents. Did you know that shopping is not scary and dangerous at all? I know now. Presenting to large groups. Driving. The concept of controlling a 2-ton metal vehicle while simultaneously avoiding other 2-ton metal contraptions seemed daunting. Everything. Man. I was afraid to wear short-sleeved shirts and shorts when I was really young. For some reason having my arms and legs not covered embarrassed me despite only being 6 years old and having no real reason for that. I've always wondered what made me like that. But who knows? Kids are fucking stupid. Sex. Being naked. Touching. Interacting and kissing someone else. In the name of pleasure and or making babies. Taxes. I don't have any property or anything. So it's super easy. You literally just copy everything over from your W2S and boom. The government owes you money. I paid to have someone do it for me once. And that was honestly just a huge waste of money. Being home alone. Even into high school an empty house weirded me out. Now a day spent home alone is a good day. Meeting people from the internet in person. Cooking with gas. Though electricity is safer. Going outside at night. Swimming in open water. Going to the store alone. Now as an adult with a child. I cherish those precious couple of hours I get to myself. Lol. Sex. Lol. Authority figures. No matter how scary, well put together, intimidating some people seem, they're just that. People. Probably just as insecure and flawed as the rest of us. Some people are just good at donning the mask. Not to say some people don't deserve to be in a position of authority. But that doesn't make them better than others. Either. SARS. I used to be scared of them. IDKY. But now I'm perfectly contained when I watch them. Pulling into and out of a garage or any tight space. I used to think it looked impossible and I was terrified to do it. Now it's almost second nature. Jump scares as well as movies using that trope where tension and suspense is built and suddenly released. Survival horror FPS put an end to that. Under the bed monsters. Now that I am grown up I know that a lot of boxes put under the bed means there is no room for them. My parents told me that these monsters only ate adults. It scarred me. Bonked my head as a kid too many times to remember what I was scared of. Getting blood drawn. I once unnerved a phlebotomist because I was watching intently. One word. Tampons. Being home alone. Going online. The creepy crawly automatic pool cleaner. Buying a car. As long as you are conscious of how much you can afford as a monthly payment. How much you can put down, if you choose to. And how much the insurance will cost. It's not too big of a headache. It just always seemed so overwhelming. But now that I'm in the process of buying my first car from a dealership, I've been surprised with how easy it is. A vaccine. The vacuum cleaner. A flat tire. The only encounters were via Firestone tire blowouts. So I was always afraid of losing control of my car. As I got older, realized that most just go flat on their own without exploding. And can be easily handled as needed. I still get anxiety sometimes though. University. Death. Gay. Changing a broken light bulb with a potato. Anyone say driving? I always thought it was scary as hell growing up. High school. As a kid my older brother was very into WWE wrestling. And instilling deep fear into his little sister. I dreaded high school because I was afraid of seeing fights every day. Violence scared the shit out of me as a kid. I was terrified to go to high school cause I thought I would have to watch people beat each other up constantly. Wasn't as bad as I thought. Saw a lot of fights but it ended up mostly being funny. Ended up in more than a handful myself if I'm being completely honest, haha. Edit. Didn't wanna seem trashy. All my fights were from defending myself. I went to school with a lot of crazies. Paying rent. It's seriously not hard to set up an e-transfer. Driving. There was a freeway exit ramp that I hated taking as a passenger and I never thought I would be brave enough to drive it. Turns out it is not big deal and way less scary when you are driving it. Anal. If you are forced to have it as a kid you'll hate it as an adult. Stick shift. How do I know when to shift? What if I get lost in the shift gate, for example? Where is third gear? Spiders. Used to freak out anytime I saw one, and the indoor ones still creep me out. But some of those garden ones actually just sit there and eat things that would otherwise ruin your plants. Only biting you when they feel they absolutely have to. Sex. Aurora borealis. If it's lighting up the whole sky, it doesn't mean you'll turn into Deadpool in seconds minus the healing factor. Hanging out in the basement. Apparently quicksand is not as big of a deal as cartoons would have me to believe. Vaginas looked super scary. Now I want them all like some Vajinga dragon. Paying bills. I hope you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for more bloody content.